Now it's cricket.
Poorly planned here.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel.
Hi.
So today we want to chat. We always get asked how we met. Every time we do a TikTok.
We always get asked how we met.
Every time we do a TikTok live, we go on somewhere. I feel like it's the most common question, and it's actually a cute story.
Is it?
Trying to have good posture.
Good.
It's actually a cute story, so I'll start since my version is the true version. Why is your shirt wet?
The dog.
Oh. So, pretty much, long story short, we're a blended family, if you did not know. I have a son from a previous relationship. He has two boys from a previous marriage, and then our daughter we have together. So, both my son and his oldest boy are only a year apart. So, when Peter was in daycare, that's where my stepson's, Dave's boys, went to daycare.
Yep.
And so I would see Dave all the time. So he had his youngest
This is where it gets messy.
His youngest was in the car seat carrier.
Yes.
And so he had the two boys going into school all the time. So I would drop my son off and I would see him with the two boys, and I always held the door open. Whenever I would see him, be like, let me hold the door. That's a nice thing to do.
Clearly.
Never once did this man say thank you.
20 pounds lighter. I was super attractive.
No.
I get it. I get it.
It was never like that. I was just like, let me just be a nice person and hold. No, I assumed you were married. I was like, let me just be a nice person, hold the door open for you.
That would have stopped you.
Yeah,
Anyway.
actually, yes, that would have.
Yes, it would have. Anyway, so she says this, right? That I never
said thank you.
Yeah, okay. All right.
And I would just be like, and then I would go back. I'm like, dude, listen, I have my kid too. Like, I'm just trying to help you out. The least you could do is say thank you.
Yeah. So this story always gets blurry right around here. I worked midnight shift. I was recently separated. I would go where my boys were staying because I was not staying with them. I'd pick them up when I got off of work at 7:30 in the morning. I'd do my little bit of time with them before they go to school and before I go to sleep. So I never was rude. I just was tired. I just got done working a shift. I was exhausted. It was just one of those things where I wasn't trying to be mean or standoffish. I was just genuinely exhausted. So a year or so later, not a year,
No. It wasn't a year or so later.
No.
So it was like a few months later.
Yeah, a few months later.
I was out. We're really struggling here. The camera just said there was no memory. But anyway, I went through, at the time, I was going through a breakup, and I was not like, it was definitely too soon for me to be out dating. But I decided to go out on a date with this other guy, and I was drinking. I think I was just nervous. It was too soon. I wasn't ready. So I had...
Plus her ex-boyfriend that had broken up with her
was at the bar, and I'm on a first date with this guy, and then I'm drinking too much, so it was just a bad combo. And I see Dave, and I was like, from my point of view, I was like, I'm gonna tell this guy off because he's the jerk that never says thank you, and I'm already,
Yeah.
So I walk up to him, and I'm like, what did I say to you?
I know you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I said. I know you. And then I walked away.
Yeah. No.
Apparently,
that's not what happened. So I had just come from a charity event.
Oh my
it was
God.
earlier that day. I was at a charity event, so all of my friends got together. We went to the same bar. So we went to this bar. I wasn't drinking, so we were hanging out, and I'm standing there, and I'm with probably like 7 or 8 friends, and she comes over and she goes, "I know you," and I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, she's like, "I always hold the door open for you at the daycare, and you never say anything. You never say thank you." And I'm like, "Look, I'm really sorry. My name's Dave. I apologize. I am exhausted in the morning." That is exactly how it happened. Yes, it's 100%. And then her and her date, who was standing behind her, walked away.
Yeah, and then I left.
And then I was standing there with my group of friends, and a couple of my friends had their wives and girlfriends there, and they're like, "Do you know her?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess she's one of the parents over at the school, where the boys go, and she holds the door open for me, and I just don't say anything." Like, "She was hitting on you." I'm like, "Was she?" Like, "Yeah, she was really hitting on you." I'm like, "No," like I didn't think about it. Like to me, it was like, because I was I was not in a good place either. Like I wasn't looking for a relationship. I was not at all looking for anything. I was just, separated, about to go, finalize a divorce. And I was just out just trying to have fun and not be tied down to anyone or anything. So that night ends. No conversation between us ever again.
No, neither of us at that point were looking for
No.
I wasn't in the right mental capacity. I wasn't looking for a relationship.
I just was not. I was not.
I was still in that pathetic stage of like hoping that me and my ex would get back together.
Yeah.
Like I was going out, like I was trying to like go out with girlfriends, go on dates, but like, and then nothing would stick because I didn't like anyone. And then all of a sudden, in November.
It was a few months later. I used to get off of Facebook for like half the year.
Yeah.
I got back on, and it popped up like the people you may know section, and I looked. I'm like,
He was stalking me.
oh, that's that girl. So I friended her. It was like right before Thanksgiving. Friended her. Then I was like, oh,
I remember what your profile picture was.
What was it?
It was you on the boardwalk.
Oh yeah, from the plunge.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the funniest picture ever.
Yeah.
You love that picture.
No.
No, I love that picture. So I friended her, and then I waited a couple days, I guess, maybe 2 days, and I sent her a message, and I was like, hey, do you remember me? I know your son doesn't go to that school anymore, because she was sending her son to private school, because she's got it like that.
I was a single mom, working full-time as a hairstylist,
Yeah.
trying to just afford my car payment.
Yeah.
I did not.
Your car payment, yeah. So, whatever, and then, we kind of went back and forth and messaged and talked.
And
then,
he kept dropping, like, my ex-wife. I remember he said that, like, me and my ex-wife, and I was like, oh, and then I remember showing my mom, and my mom was like, this guy's hitting on you.
Yeah.
And then I was like, huh. And then after a while of us just, like, BSing,
Yeah.
then I finally was just like, I was at work one day, and I was telling the people I work with about you, or I think I was a hairstylist, and I think I was telling my client, and I'm like, this guy, like, our conversation's flowing, but he's just not saying anything. So finally, I was just like, I'm just gonna ask him, like, when. And, like, I was at the hair salon, so I had the girls there being like, just do it.
Yeah, like hyping her up.
Yeah, so I was just like, are you gonna ask me, like, on a date? Or to hang out, I think I said.
Yeah.
Are you gonna ask me to
Are you
hang
ever
out?
going to ask me to hang out?
And so he was
I
just like,
okay.
what about now?
Yeah, like, what do you want to do? You want to go get coffee or something?
And it was raining, it was cold
Yeah, it
and
was
raining.
a really crappy day out. It was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. No, earlier, maybe like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. She was at work. I think I was off.
I remember fluffing up my hair too. I remember putting a lot of dry shampoo before you came and just like fluffing it up.
I think I was living with my parents at that point. I moved back into my
Yeah.
parents' house. But yeah, so I went, picked her up.
Starbucks.
We went to Starbucks. We talked for like 2 hours. And then...
And felt like
yeah.
it felt comfortable right away.
Yeah. Felt very comfortable.
And then he dropped me off at home.
Dropped her off at home, went and picked my kids up.
And then was it that night?
That night or the next night?
I think it was that night.
Could have been that night.
It was that night. He was working and I had to do a project for my son's school, and my son was only 6 at the time, so I was like cutting it out and doing this project, and he was working and I was up late doing this, so I was like, oh, on your break you should just stop by.
Yeah.
And he did. He came by. My son was sleeping, obviously, and he came by. And was that the night that you just kind of watched and sat far from me?
I sat far from her because I wasn't like picking up. I thought we were just trying to be friends.
And then he left. Was that the night that I think when you left, I said to you,
Yeah.
I said,
like, are you even gonna try to kiss me?
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, we had such a great conversation. You came back to see me. Maybe
Yeah.
it was the next night.
It was the next night.
And I'm like, you came back and like
Yeah.
didn't.
Well.
And then it was.
And then the next day I was off, and I came over, and I think we were watching a movie, and then she kissed me.
Joyride. Is it Joyride?
Something like that.
It's a
She
truck
kissed
movie.
me. She kissed me.
I did not kiss you.
She kissed
You were
me.
just very slow. I was
She
like, what's
kissed me.
going on here, buddy?
She kissed
Did
me.
you like me or not?
And then made the most awkward comment ever
What did I say?
after we were making out.
Oh.
And we have been together.
Ever since that day.
With the exception of like 4 days when I broke up with her. We've been together ever since.
We hung out every single day after that, and then like I knew like right away. I was just like I really have strong feelings for this guy. And at that time, my ex started weaseling his way back into the picture, and I told my ex, I said I'm talking to someone. Like me and him weren't even at the phase where I should be saying that, but I was just like I'm putting all my eggs in this guy's basket. So I'm like I'm talking to someone like. And it was just like, for me to do that was a big deal, because before that, I feel like I would have took a second chance on that, which thank God.
Yeah.
But, and then I remember telling him, I was like, I want to be exclusive. I want to be in a relationship. And it was on New Year's Day. He was like, fine, I'll I pretty much broke him down.
Yeah.
I was like, I want this. And he's like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. And then he's like, all right, we could be together. And then called me a couple of hours later. I was like, listen, I'm not ready, and broke it off. And I was just like... Devastated. And you were upset about it too, but I think you were torn.
I was torn. I was in a bad spot. I wasn't divorced yet. I was separated. I was going to be divorced in a few months. I didn't want to give myself to somebody where like it was like a messy start.
Yeah.
And I felt like I thought that was like the gentlemanly thing to do.
And all of my friends and even my mom was just like, no, like this guy, like there's so many red flags. Like he's going through a divorce, like he's going through all of this stuff. Like no.
Yeah.
Like it's like when you tell your girlfriend like, oh, I met this guy, but he's going through divorce, and they're like, nope, immediately no. But I was just like, I don't know, I really like him. And then when he broke up with me, and I was just like so devastated, and me and my girlfriend decided to take a girls trip and to Atlanta, Georgia, which was something else. Not in a good area of Atlanta either. It was not a well-researched trip, me and her.
No.
And when I came home, I remember the flight being delayed on the way home, and the whole trip she hated me because I talked to Dave the whole entire time.
She was FaceTiming me the whole time.
She was like, you're so annoying. I thought we were having a girls trip, and I'm like that terrible girlfriend on the phone the whole time.
We weren't even together.
No. And when I came home,
I was at your house.
Yep.
Waiting.
And then
with flowers.
We were together ever since.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how we met.
She's tried to leave me a couple times, but we're still here.
Well, that's just because you left me in the beginning.
I know, she's trying to get me back.
You're never gonna.
She's trying to get me back.
You're never gonna live that down. I cried at work. I was like devastated over this guy I knew for a month. Crying to my clients.
I didn't have money.
Crying to my clients. How long have you known him? I don't know, like 2 weeks.
Yeah. I didn't have any money.
How long did you guys date? 24 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one of the things too. I always get on here that I'm a gold digger, and I married him.
I was going through a divorce. I had to buy my house back twice.
Yeah. Neither of us had money.
No.
We were both dead broke.
Dead broke.
I don't know who had less.
We didn't need anything because we had love, and still do. Right?
We had love and a lot of bills.
A lot of bills. Great sex.
No, I'm cutting that out.
You're not cutting
I'm cutting that out.
No.
You can't say that.
Why? It's true.
That's inappropriate. This is a family channel.
That's what brought us together.
No, it's not. The love.
And
we waited because our kids can watch this.
Oh.
So it was the love that brought us together.
Love brought us together.
And we should have not been drinking alcoholic beverages.
Yes.
We should have not been doing that.
Alcohol is bad.
It's bad. It's the devil.
It's the devil.
But we waited until marriage.
Yes.
And our love blossomed.
It blossomed.
And that's when, and then.
It
And
blossomed
then
a lot.
Ava came, and our family was complete.
Yep.
So that's
And it is now complete.
that's a long, short version of how we met.
That was fucking long.
All right, we have dinner to go to now.
All right.
Love you guys.
Oh God, it's 4:45.